The Nürburgring is an iconic track, and manufacturers come here to prove the mettle of their cars. BMW is constantly here, Mercedes is here. Each manufacturer wants to have the trophy of the fastest production car. And the world standard is basically a lap at the Nürburgring.
This is not the normal lap time effort. This is not the normal flying bullshit wagon powered by PR and underwritten by marketing hype. This is just like guys wanting a good lap for a car that they believe is one of the best cars in the world.
This is about automotive passion at the very, very, very highest level. This is about the passion that created the greatest industry on earth, and that's the auto industry.
The significance of being here is we get to say goodbye to an iconic car that was built in the United States of America at a plant that was hand-built, because the cars are still hand-built up till today.
When Viper captured that lap in 2011, the entire Viper nation exploded with excitement. And I wanted that one more time before the car went out. This is a very important one because the car is going to cease production shortly in, I guess a little more than a month.
Come in as an alien, as an outsider, as somebody who comes here once every 7 years or something, and to expect to do a lap time is kind of like ambitious at best, bordering on lunatic at worst.
The Viper is probably as close as you can get to a race car and street, clothing, if you will. But at the end of the day, it's still a street car, and this place is really tough. So from a driver's standpoint, they want a race car for this place. They want something that's super controlled, that's very predictable, that has high amounts of grip. And at the end of the day, you're kind of paying that trade-off between something that's meant for the street and something that really needs to be a race car to do well here.
The Viper has lots of potential, lots of downforce for a road car. It's not what I expected, but then I watched a bit like the floor, how it's designed, and the wing and the splitter, and it's really nicely done, and you can really feel it in the high-speed stuff, which we have a lot on the Nordschleife. You can really feel like that the air is putting you on the ground, and it's really lots of grip in high speed.
It's an amazing, amazing place. I mean, the settings, the scenery, the streets.
It is absolutely the most complex and difficult track on earth.
The Nürburgring is unlike any other track in the world, I think. The surface is super smooth. It's a great track, but it's just got so many different elements. It really tests the car and the driver from an endurance standpoint.
The weather here plays a big role, especially the condition of the asphalt. It just stays on the surface, and it's very difficult to keep the car under control under those conditions.
Well, we have a major challenge ahead of us. The weather continues to be questionable, and that affects every element of the car.
It's almost impossible to have too much time for setup. I mean, when you're doing something like this, you want to keep running the car, and then you tweak from there.
We are fortunate in that we have a car that our driver understands, and we have a driver that understands our car.
Dominic's a really good setup driver. I mean, he can come back and he can give you a lot of good feedback that was very helpful with the car. Maybe we didn't hit it right off the bat in the beginning, but he could tell you what he needed from the car, and we were trying to give it to him.
To get like a little private time for yourself on the racetrack is not like an easy task. I mean, you have to ask probably half a year before you attend, and you never know how the weather is going to be in that time. So if you book that track time, it's yours. And if it rains, you can rain dance.
Monday we had the track from 12 to 1. Unfortunately, Mother Nature did not cooperate. The plans had been in place for quite some time. We took the opportunity to get some good shots.
My first impression of the car was basically, holy shit. And I was screaming that to myself as I accelerated through third gear, looking at the speedo, thinking, this is about 30 kilometers an hour faster at this point than I've ever gone in any car.
There is nothing like a Viper.
It's a driver's car. No, it's not cushy and it's not comfortable and it doesn't have all the safeties and controls that other cars do. And that's exactly why those owners buy them. And we like the fact that you have to drive it. It's raw power by the seat of your pants, and you better respect the power of the car or it will bite you.
I think for many people the car creates relationships. And that's probably the reason that I'm here helping these guys out and being part of this team. On one hand, it's the car and the history you have, but on the other hand, it's all the friendships and the relationships that you've made through the years. It's a big family, the Viper community.
This track being 12.8 miles, you can start at one place and a mile down the road, it can be pouring rain, and another mile it could be snowing, and another mile it could be sunny and bright. But that's what has made this track the most challenging track in the world. We're very, very fortunate to be able to be here for a couple more days, and so we have some more opportunities.
If that track's dry and the tires are warm and we're ready to go, we'll be on our feet waiting to see what that number is coming across the line.
The first 2 weeks, the weather failed to cooperate most of the sessions we were able to get on the track. Now, since a single attempt takes at least 25 minutes because of the warm-up and cool-down laps, wrestling time away from groups that had already booked the track was close to impossible. We pleaded with everyone that had track time. Fortunately, the track management seemed to respect what we were trying to accomplish and took mercy on us. They sold us 30 minutes of time they had allocated for their own track maintenance.
Track control information, track control information. Das ist die letzte Runde im Industriepunkt für heute. Attention, this is track control. This is the last lap for today. Please leave the track at the exit paddock. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8.
At the ring, the finish line is before the start line. So after a flying start, we all move back to the finish line.
That's awesome. That's hot. That's awesome.
In spite of all the obstacles, Dominic turned a 7:03 on his first solo lap. Spirits were high. It seemed that the sixes were a foregone conclusion. With our time in Germany quickly slipping away, we had to find another slot.
The car is capable of doing more. There's still a lot to learn about the tire, the car. If I can make like a little more, squeeze a little more out of this baby, then I might have a successful run here.
We had another record attempt this morning, something the track has never done before. They offered us track time this morning before the industry pool. We had to be there at 7:45. We arrived at 7:45 and got the car set up. The car went out on a hot lap, did its first warm-up lap, came for the flyer lap.
Now we begin the longest 6 minutes and 50 seconds of all time.
There's a gentleman at the track by the name of Jorgen who works the track, and Jorgen came up to me and said, "This is one of the fastest times I've ever seen." Our hearts started pounding, everybody was getting excited. Unfortunately, the industry pool radio that had to be in the car by the industry pool ended up coming loose from where it was secured and ended up underneath Dominic's pedals, and so it killed the run.
What?
See something in the pedal room?
The radio.
Yeah. I could not brake.
Really?
No.
Where it comes from?
Und der erste Kurve kam das schon vorgeflogen. Ich weiß noch, wo das befestigt wurde.
Scheiße. Und?
Yeah, put it in the glove compartment. I don't want to have that in my pedals again.
Yeah.
Such a weird feeling when you can't brake.
What we have to work with and what we've worked with is amazing. You know, this track is one of the most daunting tracks to drive, and so it stays completely booked. And for us to get track time is one of the biggest challenges we've had. That's the hurdle.
We had been there 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, we had come so far, but still needed additional track time. Upon our return, the car was ready to go, but in other ways, it was like starting from scratch. Lost our drivers to their other racing obligations. Bernie had returned to the U.S. because of Hurricane Harvey. And as fate would have it, the only day we could get additional track time was a day that neither Mario or Dominic were available. Finding a new driver quickly was going to be difficult. He had to understand the Viper and be an absolute expert on the Nürburgring. Luca suggested Lance David Arnold. Lance had never been in a Viper before, but had a huge reputation for knowing the track. With both cars on track, Luca experienced a tire failure on the final straight. This was a harbinger of things to come. What we didn't know was that the drain plug in the differential of Lance's car was loose and all the fluid leaked out, overheating the differential and sidelining the car. We now had one car and two drivers. Luca, a true team player, thought that Lance should drive the one remaining car.
Okay?
We don't know. The driver's inside. The car is damaged.
Sorry guys, I'm okay, but the left front tire was gone. I had no chance to turn to the right. The car is going just straight into the barrier. Fuck!
In front I felt a vibration like as I started to turn, I felt okay, left front it's already gone. No turning, directly into the barrier on the right. And that was the big one. Oh fuck. Fucking hell.
Our spirits had gone from an unbelievable high to an unbelievable low. Everybody felt responsible. Why hadn't we changed the tires after each lap? Well, because time wouldn't allow it. It was our last day. We had used the 30-minute slot allocated to us. One car was wrecked, and the other one needed a differential, which was 20 miles away. It appeared that our attempt was over, and that a 701.3 was going to be the time we lived with, like it or not.
Well, We didn't quite do what we all wanted to do, and that would have been to set the fastest production lap record on the ring. We came mighty close. If a few things were different, I think we certainly could have done it. Certainly nothing to hang our heads about. It's a great time, a very respectable time. Have to think the car will go down as one of the most capable production track cars ever built. The Viper will always be that crude, rude car that we all have grown to love.
You know, to see Fiat Chrysler say, we can't do it, we're out of money, we're out of time, we're out of interest, whatever they were out of, they were obviously out of it. And then to see Bernie and Russ and all the guys pulling together in the crowdfunding just to bring a couple of cars here and push hard for a lap time, that was something I've never reported on. That's like one of the fastest cars ever, and it's definitely the fastest car that's rolled off a showroom floor and driven to the Nürburgring, gone round the Nürburgring and driven away again.
It's not big factories, it's not big corporations, it's you know, a group of enthusiasts that really have a passion in their heart. It's some small companies that could see, you know, a vision and wanted to really support the effort, and everything came together to really put down a, you know, a time that very little have ever approached.
There's a lot of people I think deserve to be recognized. Michael Minkin, he has a lot of experience with Vipers and was a great help to us. All of the guys in his shop that worked with us, Hubert, Frank, Chico, and Mateus, were all fantastic guys to work with. Some of the best I think I've ever worked with.
I love the car, I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to see it go out well. I did what I could to see it go out well, and we cut 11 seconds off the last generation Viper's time, which is pretty respectable.
A 701 is certainly nothing to be ashamed of, but the car is certainly capable of more. Only a couple of cars in the world that can say they're better, but none of them with two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, manually shifted cars. And I don't think there'll ever be another car quite like the Viper, so I suspect we'll hold on to that record for a long, long time.